Welcome back to Excel Tutorial 2. If you have not seen the Excel Tutorial 1, please check it out, where I talk about layout, worksheet, and workbook. This video, we are going to enter few data into worksheet and use few formulas. Before we start, let's look at few more terms in Excel. Last time I showed you where you can find cell name. So if you select C2, you can see the cell name over here. This is called the name box. And to the right hand side, the white blank area is called the formula bar. And whatever you type over in the cell, you can see on the formula bar. And so right now you're on C2 and it shows on the formula bar. Let's delete it, removes it. Or you can go to the formula bar. Once you select the cell you want to type in, you go to formula bar and you can start typing. And you can bring the mouse back to the cell and you can type over here. It'll show up in the formula bar. Now let's look at what is a range. Range is a set of cells. Right now I have highlighted C4 to E7. So C4 to E7 is a range. And you write range C4 colon, let's say D7. So let's highlight C4 to D7. Now this is the range. Now let's start entering some data into a table and use some formulas. I'm going to create a student grade table. So I like to keep this A1 row empty and I'm going to use the cell A2. I'm going to start from the A2. I'm going to add student name. Now you can see how the student name penetrates to the next cell, B2. But I can see now A2, I'm on A2 and the formula bar shows student name. So let's say if I go to the next cell, now you can see I'm on B2 but I cannot see anything on the formula bar. So that's mean student name is only on A2 cell, not on B2. So now, but it does bothers me to see the student name on the B2 cell. So to fix that, I can adjust the cell by going between A column and B column. Take my mouse between and you can see how the mouse changed to across. And I'm going to double click. Now cell got adjusted and now you can see the student name in only A2. B2 is empty. So now let's go ahead and enter more math. Let's enter some subjects, science and total and average. Okay, now let's say Smith John, John Jane, John Rose, Rose Gray. I'm just creating some name. Dana Smith. Okay, let's enter grades. 90, 70, 100, 90, 80, 70, 40, 100, and this person also got 100. So now let's look at how to sum the Smith-Jones math and science. So I'm going to get a total of his grade by going to D3, and I'm going to go to auto sum, and I'm going to use sum formula. Now you can see how automatically Excel enters the math and science cells into here. Now, if you have more, let's say more cells, so you want to select your own cell, you can either use this one if this is correct, or you can go to insert function, and I'm gonna go choose my first cell by going to here, B3. Then I'm gonna go back again here, little arrow. Then I'm gonna choose my second cell, which is the science grade, C3, and go back to the argument, function argument. And now I have B3 and C3. Those are my two cells. So 80, it shows what is B3, what you have in B3. It's 80 and C3, 80. Now I'm going to click OK. Now it's going to calculate and put the total over here in D3 cell. So now if you go to the formula bar, you can see the formula equal sum. You have B3 cell and C3. So that's how you do sum two cells. So let's say now I want to do the same thing for the second one. I'm going to go auto sum, and I can leave it the same one. So if I know this selection is correct, B4 and C4, I can just hit enter. It calculates and put the calculation over here. So like let's say now you have lots of data here to calculate. You don't want to keep on doing each one. You can go to one formula that you already have done, and you can copy that formula to the other cells. So to do that, you take your mouse and drag it down to the other cells. Now you can see how it copied. So if you go to this D5, you can see the formula. So let me delete that again and show you again. So if you take your mouse back to D4 and you want to copy the formula, you take your mouse to the corner and drag and drop. Now it copies the formula. Now let's calculate average. So to calculate average, we also can go to auto sum, and you can see average. So I want to get the average of these two subjects, not the total. See, now I cannot select, this is incorrect for me. So what I'm going to do is go to insert function. I'm going to select my cell, math. Then I'm going to get the average for science and go over here. Now I'm going to calculate. So I have the average of the Smith-Jones subjects. So, and I'm going to come to here, do the same thing, average. I'm going to choose insert function. I'm going to choose 90, and for math, and come over here, 70 for science, go back and say OK. Now I have the average, and I can do the same thing to copy the formula so I don't have to keep on doing for each cell. I can go to the edge of the cell and drag my mouse down. Now it copies the cell formula to each cell. Now this is how you do the average and total. Now I want to put a borders around this table, make it pretty. So I can do that by coming to home and go to groups tab, and over here I have borders. So I'm going to choose thick outside borders. Now I'm going to come and highlight the whole table, go back to the borders and select. Now you can see how the borders around the table. Now I'm going to highlight and drag the first column to separate student name, math. Okay, now I'm going to highlight and go to borders. Now I'm putting borders in each column. You can put borders like this. You can select each cell and put a border. So you can do different borders around cells and tables. So I'm going to again highlight the top row and put a border. Now it looks like a table. Now I want to make this first row size. I'm going to increase that size. Now you can see how again my student name is not showing on, is not fit into the each cell. So what I can do now, I have few of them, not only one is doing that. I have science also. I'm seeing only half of the science, and average is penetrating to the F cell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I want to highlight the entire sheet. To do that, I'm going to come over here between A and 1. And if I click over here, it's going to highlight the entire spreadsheet. So now what I can do, I'll take my mouse between one of the columns, and when it changed to the cross, I'm going to double click and it's going to adjust every cell